Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI IV as we're going to be starting a new series today as Japan. So this is a patron-sponsored series. One of my patrons wanted to sponsor a series as Japan, so we're going to be doing this a little bit differently than we typically do, and the patron does want to remain anonymous. But one of his requests was to use a mod that we don't typically use on the channel, and that mod is the player-led peace conference mod. And we've used this in a couple past campaigns, but I stopped using it because there is a minority of viewers, it's kind of a large vocal minority of viewers, that really don't like this mod because they look at it as cheating, because, you know, the player completely controls all the peace conferences. And I can see what they're saying if you do it a certain way, but we've always done it pretty fair. We've always done it to, you know, where it makes sense, and we try and do the peace treaties based off of, you know, participation in the actual conflict, as well as, you know, what just makes sense. So I think it helps avoid certain situations, like for instance in that last series we just finished, the Portuguese one, where you have Japan. They had completely conquered, you know, all of Asia, and conquered India, the Dutch East Indies, Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines. They conquered everywhere, but because they didn't play any role in the defeat of the United States and the British through the second half of the war, they barely had any war participation points, so they didn't get to do hardly anything in the peace treaty. And basically all of Asia went to either us as Portugal or Germany or Italy. And so Japan didn't get to do anything in Asia despite the fact that they conquered all that. So I think using that mod kind of helps you avoid, you know, certain issues like that, both for yourself and for the AI. So I like the mod, but you know, there are a group of people who don't watch the series when I use that. So we don't typically use the mod, but with this being a sponsored series, we can. So we're gonna be playing with that mod, and for those of you guys that never played with it before, it'll be your first time seeing it. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it, and then I'll talk about some of the other requests he had for the series. So he wanted us to not have historical AI focuses on, so we're going to leave those off. For the custom game rules, for the AI behavior, he wants everything left on default. So the way this works with the default, this is the basic setting that we had before we could even change the AI behavior up, where it's not historical, but it's also not random. It's more based off of, it kind of, you know, tends to be more historical, but it's based off of modifiers. Like AI will do modifiers. So for instance, if France ends up going communist, then Germany will be, you know, slightly more likely to go to a democracy. So you get a little bit of a variation in the gameplay, while also being, you know, slightly, you know, more historical than what you'd have if you started, you know, obviously messing with stuff here. So we're going to leave all that on default. He didn't say anything about the major nation buffs, so I'm just going to do what I typically do and just strengthen them all by 2 points, with the exception of ourselves. Alright, almost clicked Japan there. We're going to strengthen China as well, so hopefully we get a little bit of a challenge there. And I think that's good to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Remember, we're keeping the historical AI focuses off. We'll play on the regular difficulty as we always do. Again, I find geez, I'm almost stuttering over my words here. What I'm trying to say is I find the AI nation buffs to be the better way for increasing the difficulty in the game. You know, make the AI better than using the, you know, the elite difficulty setting, because all that does is make everything take longer for the player. It doesn't really make it more challenging. It just makes it more boring as you wait for stuff longer. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. We're gonna go ahead and start out with, you know, the basic text that we're going to want to get here for Japan. Some very basic stuff. Get all the industrial text. But yeah, this is going to be a largely historical campaign. So, you know, as we're leaving the AI on the default setting, he also wanted us to remain fascist. So in the national focus tree, we will be going down the fascist branch, the Purge, the Kodoha, if that's how you pronounce that right, faction. So we'll be going down that branch. However, we're not going to start with that. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to start with new naval estimates and get those 4 dockyards here early on with that Navy experience, because this is going to be a very Navy-focused campaign. We haven't had a naval-focused campaign since that British one, so it's been a little while. So it should be fun, because the last couple ones were more, you know, land-focused than anything else. So we're going to go ahead and get some civilian factories here. Let's go and get one in the capital, get one there. Just maybe like 3 civilian factories built up, just because we don't even have enough civilian factories to get a full line at this moment. So yeah, we're going to be going down that historical focus branch for Japan here, and then we'll be creating our own faction as well. So as far as the decisions go, we're not going to do any of these paramilitary ones, so let's just go ahead and say we don't need to be notified of that. Let's go ahead and get our military factories building some stuff, some goodies. So we're probably going to go ahead and get rid of the interwar fighters. I don't want to build any more of those. We got like 200 something, I think is what Japan starts with, so I don't think we need any more old fighters. We're going to go ahead and get the naval bombers though. Probably going to rely pretty heavily on these. And remember, we are playing on what was the beta patch and is now the 1.9.1 patch, and that adds a bunch of new mechanics for managing your air force, which is going to be fun to use. It's going to allow us to do a few different things that we haven't done before, and we'll talk about that as we play. For now, let's just go and get all this stuff building. We're going to go to get some light tanks. We'll be using light tanks. I think they'll be super useful in China. We're also going to get some motorized going here, and eventually we'll get some armored cars as well. I'm glad they start with it, so we don't have to research that. Let's go and get the motorized ticked up here to the top, and how many military factories we got left? Just a few. We can't go in and get some close air support, so we're going to get that, because these are all the 1936 versions. We're probably going to want to research the newer fighters relatively early. Let's go ahead and do most of these into motorized and light tanks so we can really start getting some of those pumped out. Or not most of them, we're putting 2 factories. You know what I mean, though. So let's go and manage our ships real quick before we start getting some troops training up. And what I think we're going to do is we're going to get rid of, I know they got a little bit of production done on them, guys, but these ships are terrible. This ship right here is not great. Not at all. I mean, I can just show you guys what it looks like. It's not... Yeah, it's just not good enough to justify building. I mean, it doesn't even have the newest heavy batteries. And then, you know, it's not even using one of its module slots up here. And it's really just not that far complete. So we're just going to get rid of it. There's no point on spending so much time working on it. We will go ahead and get the 1936 carriers. These are pretty decent. We're going to get rid of the converted one. Again, not much time spent on it. Well, this one's just about done. So let's go and get rid of that. We're going to change these up real quick, though. Bring these down to 20 and... bring these up to 40. All right, and then we'll also likely get rid of, we'll only build one of those. We're gonna get rid of the early cruisers, I think. Yeah, I don't see any reason to, just don't, if they're almost done, like these destroyers are even halfway done, we'll let them finish up, but otherwise I just don't see any point on wasting the production on these ships here that are garbage. Yeah, we'll get rid of this one as well, and then just make sure that these ones are only building one. Same right there, because we'll want to update that, I'm sure. The submarines, I think they're all just about done, so might as well let them finish up. All right, so we do need to trade for some resources. Looks like we're short on quite a few things. We're going to have to trade for some steel. We'll trade with the Germans for that, which means we're not going to be able to build much. We're just not going to have enough civilian factories. But yeah, we have 8 going towards that. So that means that we are not immediately here going to get the intelligence agency, just because we just can't sacrifice the 5 civilian factories at the moment. We just don't have it available. So I think that's it. No, we need to, of course, manage all of our troops. So let's go and get all of our troops selected, and then we're going to get them training up if they need to. Well, now, of course, we don't have to pull divisions out when they're fully trained anymore because of that new feature, which is just one of my favorite features that have been added in a long time here. Shift clicking that, and then they only train if they need it. That is so helpful. So I think everybody should be added. Nope, we missed 1 division. Okay, so we'll let all those guys train up if they need to train. And then with the planes, we're going to want to manage those as well. I guess we'll do it through here. This would be easier. Let's go ahead and get all of our air wings, with the exception of those on the carriers, deleted so we can redesign them. So I don't have those weird numbers. Just going to get rid of all of those. And then I suppose what we'll do is go ahead and get some training up here. Just go ahead and use our air base right here. Just kind of train up some fighters. I know these are old fighters, but that's okay. And then also some close air support. We'll just put all those over there. And they'll eventually get some more there. And of course, these are the new features that I was talking about, which we'll take a look at those later on, but it's going to allow us to do a lot of different things here that we've never really been able to do in HOI4 because of the inability to really control. Let's get these guys training up here to really control what kind of planes go where. So that's a pretty cool feature that I'm looking forward to being able to utilize a bit more because we didn't really play with the patch at all with those past 2 series we did. I think the Portuguese one, it was the last episode, the finale episode was when the patch finally was official. So we've got those guys training. The last thing is going to be our ships. So let's go ahead and change, or well, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to select all of them, and then we're going to merge them. And of course, we'll just redesign them as we typically do. So let's go ahead and merge them, and then bring them on over to Tokyo. So they all start moving over here. Or they should anyway. Yeah, they're already moving here, but already moving over here. All right, so we'll get all those moved over here, and then we'll train them up. I don't know how much we'll be able to train ships because of, fuel concerns, but we'll try and train as much as we can. So we'll let them all get over here first, though, before we do that. They shouldn't take too long to get over here. Let's just see. It looks like they're all over here now. All right, so what we're going to want to do, let me just take a look at these. Let's just set them to only train up, and we will want to, due to the automatic split off, of course. Let's go and only train up the ones who need to be trained. I know that we need Navy experience, but I think even with just training some of our ships, I think that will still result in us getting quite a bit of naval experience every day. So yeah, we'll just let it on speed 5, and good God, and does it look like it increased in speed a bit? I heard that there were some performance adjustments in the 1.9.1 patch, but yeah, it seems like it's going really fast, like faster than usual. So we've got, let's go ahead and do something real quick right here. Let's make sure that we get the ability to have 10 dockyards repairing, and then go ahead and get all of these assigned so that they go to the ships that are currently building. And we also have a decision available. Let's take a look, see what this is. We can abandon the naval treaty. So we could do that, but remember, if we abandon the naval treaty, then that does result in the escalator clause happening, and that might happen anyway because of the Italians. We'll just have to see. But yeah, then all the democratic countries, the British and the Americans, could then build bigger ships because of the escalator clause. So I think it would be better to cheat on the treaty since Japan can't do that. So I think that's what we're going to do. It's going to be an extra 25 political power, but again, I think it'd be better to do that just to hopefully affect the Allied shipbuilding. So we'll cheat on it. Of course, it will require that 50 political power. So we'll better get it done before the second London Naval Conference actually happens. We also have, we already know about that, obviously. We're just looking at that. So we are having some fuel concerns here. I think once those bigger ships get done, then it won't be as much of an issue. So we'll just keep them going for now. We are going to want to get our troops probably set up in this episode. Typically in the first episode, I don't really set the armies up, but obviously it's Japan. We typically have war happen a little bit earlier against China. So we will probably set those guys up closer towards the end of the episode. So we got the new naval estimates. That's 4 more dockyards. It's going to be super helpful for us. We won't get any more stuff over here, though. Obviously, there's a lot of great stuff in this branch. I'd also really like to get the fighter model so we can research that early on here, but we won't. We're going to do the Purge the Kodoha faction. It just gives us the stability, which doesn't really help much. But yeah, we really need to get these civilian factories here. And so we now have the ability to cheat on the naval treaty, so we'll go ahead and do that now. And the United Kingdom revisits their colonial policy. So we have those free dockyards that we just got finished up. We're just going to go ahead and make sure that these get done first before we go and try and build any other ships. It also gives us the opportunity to get some naval experience for redesigning ships. So we need to trade for more steel. We do not have enough. I'm almost thinking that we're just going to trade for just kind of leave a little shortage there because, we only have 7 civilian factories building right now. So just not much. But yeah, most of these ships here shouldn't be training. Let's go and place these guys in here. But yeah, most of the ships shouldn't be training. You can see the carriers are still training, though, as well as several heavy cruisers, so that's kind of costing us some fuel. But as these larger ships, again, once these larger ships finish up, I do think we should be all right. We might need to trade for some. We got 65 days worth of fuel left. We could also stop those planes from training. So we got the electronical mechanical engineering. We're gonna go and get the mechanical computing, get those research speeds up. We could take a look and see if these guys are set. They are not. So what we're gonna want to do is set them up to finish training, and then or to finish getting their experience and then stop training. There's no reason to train them any further. So they're going to already stop. We'll have to retrain them again once they get those 40 planes. Italy finished up their war in Ethiopia. So again, this is going to be a historical Japanese campaign, guys. And we do have some free dockyards here. So that means we are going to get another plane, or another ship design, excuse me. But this will be a historical Japanese campaign where we're going to be going to war with the Allies, going to war with China, and just focusing on Asia, trying to expand our Japanese empire. And then from there, of course, we'll invade Hawaii and then probably invade the Pacific coast of the United States. So that's going to be our role in the campaign. Very historical campaign. So we have the carriers building. We want to get, I think we should get another battleship and another carrier building. So let's start with the battleship, because I don't have any of those building. Though I don't know how much the London naval treaties will affect this. We'll have to see. But let's go and start with the heavy battery 2s, and then we're going to get the anti-air here, and then we're going to do fire control, of course. We don't have anything to put there yet. Get the new engines in there. And we actually do have some battlecruiser 2 armor. It's not actually better, though. So we'll just have to place the battleship 1 armor in there. You know what? No, we won't wait. We'll just build these as is. We still are within the production limits here, but I think we're gonna hit the top there. So we'll have to see what we can do here. Let's see. We definitely want anti-air and another secondary battery, and we could get a float plane as well. That would help us reduce the production cost a bit. But let's go ahead and start out with getting. I would really like to get another heavy battery on here, but yeah, you can see the production cost would be a little bit too high, so that's not going to be an option. So yeah, they're just not going to have as good a heavy attack since we didn't leave the London naval treaties. So we'll go ahead and get an anti-air. It's always helpful for your battleships. Secondary battery, and then again, I think yeah, if we want to stay within the cost here, I don't think we'll be able to get. Okay, we could get a secondary battery. Increase that light attack up. We could also get this here to get the better surface detection. As well as better sub detection. You know what, guys? I think we're gonna go ahead and get the better secondary battery. Yeah, we can't get any heavy batteries, unfortunately. Yeah, I think getting the secondary battery would be pretty useful. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and this is how it's gonna look. So let's go ahead and give them historical battleships names, and then for the actual battleship name, so we can do 2 different things here. So I can either do what I did in that last Japanese series, which was a short one. Remember, it was like that 5 videos, or kind of edited it, and it was just really focused on the naval conflict. So I can either do the same thing I did there and name them based on the historical names of the battleships and carriers for Japan. So I can do that, same thing we did there. Or we can instead, just let you guys suggest names, which you guys can suggest whatever you want. We can name them based on your guys' name suggestions. Let me know down in the comments below what you'd rather do. This battleship won't be done anytime soon, so we'll just leave it as Battleship 2A, and then we can rename them later. So let's go ahead and save that, and go ahead and decommission all these old ones and get this newer battleship out there. Give them the full 5 dockyards. In fact, let's go ahead and just pull from those destroyers. And so we're just going to be building capital ships for a little while until we get one of them done. We have to turn the WASD keys back on here, and let's see what decision is available here. We can't abandon the London Naval Treaty, so we're not going to do that. We just cheated on it. And again, I just feel like it's really useful to keep the Allies hindered, because they gotta, even with the escalator clause, they can build pretty decent sized ships, I suppose. I mean, of course, we're hampered with what ships we can build, but I feel like it's worth it to hamper the Allies even more. So we did finish up that destroyer already. So let's go ahead and get these next dockyards assigned to. Man, this one's not going to be done for a while, huh? Yeah, it's going to be done till, well, July. That's not too bad. So we'll use those dockyards for our screens. So let's go ahead and start on. I suppose we should probably get the destroyers next. Could do the light cruisers, but you know what, we're going to start with the destroyers, though it doesn't look like we have Yeah, it doesn't look like we have more modern destroyers. Okay, I didn't realize that the Japanese didn't start with that. Yeah, they do not have the 1936 destroyers, so instead we'll go with light cruisers. No point on getting some old destroyers. So let's go ahead and get the light cruisers, and we want the 1936 model. I'm going to give them historical light cruiser names. And we're going to design an attack cruiser for taking out the enemy screens. So we're going to want, I want to go ahead and get the light cruiser battery 2 on there. Get some anti-air and fire control system, because you have to have that. And then we're going to have those new engines on there. And cruiser armor 2. Alright, so as far as what we're doing up here, again, we're trying to focus on the light attack here, since this is going to be our attack cruisers. So we're going to go ahead and get another light cruiser battery 2 on there. And let's see, we're definitely going to get some torpedo launchers on there. I feel like having those on an attack cruiser are really helpful. And then I think we'll have, I think we're going to have one more light battery on here. Yeah, I think we will do that. And then we'll also have like some more anti-air on here. Yeah, let's do the anti-air here. And then we're going to go ahead and do, for the rapid fire guns, the light cruiser battery 2. Yeah, that looks good. Speed is fine. Yeah, everything is good here. Yeah, this will work, guys. So let's go ahead and, I almost want to pull the anti-air off. And just, you know, solely focus on that light attack with another secondary battery. We could really take that up some. But you know what, guys? Let's go ahead and we're gonna be fighting the Americans and the British, who both have carriers. So let's make sure we have some good, or decent, I should say, anti-air attack. So again, with the screens and the submarines, I just name them based on their roles, because it's just easy to see like what they do. And we'll probably have multiple cruiser models, probably 2 cruiser models, 2 or 3 destroyer models, and maybe just 1 submarine. I don't know that we'll actually use the submarines for the mines, which we will be doing some mining. We didn't do any of that last episode. Let's go ahead and get these guys placed. We'll place them in Tokyo, since that's where our training army is based out of. My bad. We got to do the dockyard next to Tokyo. All right, so there we go. Let's go and have the dockyards going into that. And we are incredibly short on steel, building all these large ships. So we probably will have to trade for at least 1 more. And again, I know that we are not trading for as much as we need, but we need to get those civilian factories, working on building more civilian factories. So we got another military factory assigned, to assign, excuse me. So let's go and place this into, let's see here. On shortages, infantry equipment is the only real shortage here. So let's go ahead and have it go into infantry equipment. That again requires more steel that we don't have, but that's fine. All right, so these guys are still trained up here. Looks like most of them are trained, with the exception of some of the reserve ones. And Italy decided to abandon the naval treaty. Okay. All right, well that sucks, because then the Americans still got the escalator clause. I should have just abandoned it then, because yeah, it has been invoked now. Yeah, that's a shame. All right, here's what it is. I think with the escalator clause invoked here, then yeah, that allows to build bigger ships as well, because I think that adds on to what we were already getting from cheating on it. Didn't really affect our battleships much though, guys. I mean, it affected it a little bit. So these are the special decisions that the Japanese have, where they have to balance or favor one side between the army and the navy. I think we're probably going to balance it. That's the way I like doing it. We'll probably just balance it out. So we're going to say we're not going to do any of these right now, though, because we've got other things to do. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and balance it out. And it looks like we have more stuff that we have to say we're not interested in doing. Let's see. We've got promises of peace and something about special forces. Let's see, form. Oh, okay, that's this one. I just didn't check that one. All right, so let's go and get these guys placed into here. And yeah, you can see that we have a lot more fuel now because less of those large ships are training. And then we can go ahead and we'll wait to train those up, actually. There's no reason to train them up just as they slowly get the ships, or excuse me, the planes. So we got the basic machine tools and the support equipment there, support weapons. So let's go ahead and go with, we're going to do the concentrated industry. And then we're going to go ahead and probably work on some some more ships, or more ship parts, I should say. Now, I would like to get the 1936 destroyer hull, so we should probably do that. But if there's anything that would affect the carriers, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that would affect the carriers at all. That I was going to say we'd want to get that first. We could always get, I suppose what we could do is go ahead and try and get the radar, so we could put those on some of our newer ships. I don't think we'd get it done in time for the carriers, though. It sure doesn't look like it. I suppose we could wait to build the carriers there. This is actually the one we'd need. Yeah, it would take a while to get down there. Yeah, it's going to take a while, so we won't wait. Let's just go in and get something else for ships in. Get stuff for the destroyers, so that when we build those, I can make them a little bit better. So we're going to want... you can get the sonar. Obviously, you need that for destroyers. I suppose that's what we're going to start out with. Yeah, let's go and get the sonar, guys. Because, god damn it, can't get the scroll up there. Because the Americans do typically have, about 80 to 100 submarines or so. And I recall several campaigns, that last Japanese campaign, that short one, in fact, we had some problems with those American submarines, actually. There were so many of them. It seemed like in that campaign, they really focused on the submarines quite a bit. So let's go and get this one next. Obviously, that one's great for your leaders, but we can get that at any time. And we also want to get to our faction as well. But let's get this one for obvious reasons. We need those damn civilian factories, and building military factories quicker is always nice as well. So we go and start testing the Soviets. We will not, though. Not interested in doing that. And then we have another military factory. I'm guessing we're getting these from our puppets. So let's go and place this into, we're just going to build infantry equipment for now, even though I do know we are short on that steel, guys. Did we get any of these built yet? Not yet. We only have 6 civilian factories going towards that right now. Of course, the U.S. is going to remain neutral. And a royal wedding in Brazil. It'd be interesting to see what the AI ends up doing on this default setting. Because we don't typically play with the AI on default very much anymore. We usually either do the AI historical focuses on, which that's rare that I play the campaigns like that. Usually I determine exactly which route they're going to go to kind of set up factions and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what all the majors do now that we're not, predetermining what route they end up going. So we got the construction one. Let's go ahead and get the excavation. Anything to kind of help our resource situation out some. And it looks like all these guys are now done training. They shouldn't have to train anymore. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and get some fronts set up. We could also set up the naval invasions as well. Now, we've got some time, though, before we go to war with China, so let's not let them know what we're doing. So Soviets are not going to be declaring war on us, so we don't really have to worry about that. I'm going to try and get a full army here going. We'll worry about colors and all that good stuff later, and then just kind of place them up on this front here. Give them a planning bonus, all that good stuff. And again, just full-size army here is what we're looking to do. Now, some of these guys are reservist. Yeah, I think most of these are going to be reserved, but whatever, it's fine. Just place them there. We can always change them up a bit later. Are all these reserves? No. All right, let's go and place them over there. Looks like we did a couple too many, so we'll just take a couple of these out, throw them back over there. All right, so we have the full 24 divisions coming on over there. Take that back. We have 25 divisions. And I'm just going to see if we can't find any divisions that I didn't bring over there that might not be reservist. Yeah, we got a couple here. Bring them over there, and yeah, it looks like that is it. Yeah, I think we got them all. Oh, nope, here's one. Let's move him over there, and then we can just pull out the reserve divisions. Oops. Bring them back over here, and he can go chill out in Korea. Alright, excellent. So we do need to make a lot of adjustments to our division designs. We don't really have any army experience right now. We could always just sit and let our troops train, but with our equipment shortages, I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I don't think we're going to train them up for the army experience. We get army experience from several of our national focuses, so we'll just wait till we get that. And the Spanish Civil War has started. We could go ahead and help out the nationalists there. I don't see any reason not to. We can help them end it much, much quicker. So yeah, I think we will go ahead and help them out. We'll have to get an army together, which we'll just use... Do we have any motorized? We've got a few. I know we have a couple over here. We got those tanks as well, but those tanks are garbage. Our tank designs, let me just show you guys. The tank designs are terrible, so we won't use those. Infantry designs are right. Do need to get them off of the 24 width, either move them to 20 or move them up to 40. The motorized is another one that needs to be moved down a bit, but this would be a great way for us to get experience. So you know what, we're going to send any motorized we have. Probably not going to send any Marines though. We'll just send motorized and infantry. So let's go and set up an army with the motorized divisions. And I don't know how many troops we can send, so I suppose we'll want to take a look at that real quick. Let's see how many, maybe 4? I assume like 4 or 5. 3. Okay, so we can only send 3. Alright, so it won't be a ton of help. We'll be a little bit. We'll be able to help them a little bit. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do an infantry division. And this will be our army that we send to them. So let's go ahead and give them a commander. And we'll probably give them, I think we'll probably give them our best commander here, Yamashita. And he also might have something to get here. He's got the Fortress Buster. That's always helpful to have, though. I don't think it'll help much in China when we're fighting here. So we'll just wait to get him any traits. It's not going to help in Spain either. They don't really have any fortifications there. So let's go and send him over there and help the Spanish out. So send volunteers. There we go. Beautiful. And so they will get there in August 1st. Okay. So try to help the Spanish out in their civil war, and just make sure that they probably won't ever join the faction. They might, because we don't have it. The historical focus is on, but just make sure that we have we don't have the Republican Spain down here. So what did we get finished up? Was that the carrier that we just finished up? Okay, so we could go ahead and build another carrier. And I think that might be exactly what we're going to do. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get it going, because I don't think there's anything that's really going to impact us, in regards to like the naval treaty. We should be able to build a good size carrier here, as well as, and we might just go ahead and continue using this name here, and then just give them my typical little indicator here. Oops. Those WASD keys, I always forget those are off. And just call them, we'll call them Bs, since technically they are the second variant of this. And then we can just go and change them up. Yeah, we still got room here. We don't really have anything to add, though. Again, as I said, it wasn't really going to impact us at all. Good God. So yeah, it was just the engines. That's all there was to change. So yeah, we're good to go. Let's go and save that. And then what we want to do is get these building. Just one. And send them next to Tokyo here. Put all the dockyards there. I suppose what we'll want to do here is just pull these back. Make sure that we have the full 5 factories going there, and these guys are already set up as well. All right, excellent. So I feel like if we have finished up that, we have finished it up, then what we'll want to go ahead and do is now trade for that steel we need. We'll just trade for one more. We'll just leave those 3. Yeah, there's nothing to be done about it. So we did get the, we could trade for it, but again, we need those civilian factories. So we knocked this out, and I think this gave us an additional 2 civilian factories. So that should have us up to 8 that are currently building. So we could go ahead and do this here, and this changes over to war economy right now. So super useful, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do, because that's going to give us a lot of civilian factories that we can play around with, because right now we're currently on partial mobilization. So we can make use of those civilian factories to try and get more civilian factories built, because our civilian industry is not great. All right, so we now have the volunteers over here, so we might not be able to declare war on China as early as I was thinking, because I forgot all about the fact that it would probably help out the Spanish. It's a great way for us to get some army experience. So the point here is not going to be like, to quickly grab all the victory points and force their capitulation. The point here is going to be, getting some experience, helping cut off troops, stuff like that. What we typically do. And I think we'll start over here, since that's where we're already at. So let's go ahead and move them over there now. We'll go ahead and give them a planning bonus here, and we're going to go after these 2 ports here, so that these troops will be cut off. All right, so they'll all moving over there now. And Yugoslavia recognizes the Soviet Union. Huh. Oh, we'll have to see what happens there. I wonder if Yugoslavia will end up joining the Comintern. That could end up starting the war with the common term much earlier than the Germans would like, because Italy might declare war in Yugoslavia, and then that would force the Germans at war with the Soviets, perhaps before they're ready. So we'll have to watch that. So with our first little batch of political power, we're going to get the silent workhorse for that political power gain, so we can get all the rest of the stuff quicker. I know there's a lot of great stuff that we need there, but obviously I feel like getting the rest of them sooner would be more helpful. So we got the passive sonar, so let's go ahead and get... We could do the newest depth charge throwers. Could just go and get the destroyer now so we can start building those. We are going to short on dockyards though, so yeah, I think what we'll do is go ahead and get some of the other equipment for them, like the depth charge throwers, which we can use the experience to get a bit quicker. That is all of our naval experience as well. Let's take a look and see how many of these ships are actually still training here. What we might want to do is stop the way we're doing it here. Just kind of pull these back, let them all go back into the dock, and then kind of separate the larger ships from the rest of these, so that we, we'll train up the ones that need to be trained. But yeah, maybe just train up all of our smaller ships just so we can get those dockyards building a little bit quicker. Just so we can get that Navy experience building a little bit quicker. So yeah, just going to pull all these out here. All the capital ships, maybe there's a quick way to do this here. All right, excellent. And because we are so short on fuel, we even pull out all the light cruisers. And you know what we'll do? This would just be far easier if I do it this way and just pull out all light cruisers. And if any of these, yeah, none of them do need to be trained. All right, excellent. So everybody here is trained up, and we should end up having less fuel issues. Maybe. We'll see, because now we're training. Okay, yeah, that actually has made things much better. All right, so what we're going to want to do is probably trade for more fuel, guys. We are really, really short, and we might want to go ahead and trade up for a little bit more for the Americans. I hate that we have to trade with the Americans. Maybe we should pull this back and stop trading with them. Maybe we should trade with somebody else instead and not help out our future enemies. We'll trade with Venezuela. Just try and get those fuel reserves ticked up a little bit faster. All right, so we probably want to go and slow this down just a little bit. Go down to speed 4, I suppose, because yeah, it is flying. It does seem like the performance has been improved quite a bit. I don't know why these guys didn't take the railroads over here. But yeah, it does seem like the performance has been improved some. So let's go ahead and separate these ones. And then we'll attack that port. We can actually separate all of these, can't we? All right, so we'll just take both of these 2 provinces here. And this won't cut off any of these troops here, but it'll cut off those guys. And had the Olympic Games. Let's go and get behind these troops now, and then we'll help them, help destroy them. Let's just see how the situation is going down here. The Nationalists do typically win. The balance is always changes with each patch. Sometimes it's more balanced in favor of the Republicans, and other times it's more balanced in favor of the Nationalists. And from what I've seen in these recent patches here, it does seem to be more balanced towards the Republicans, or towards the Nationalists, excuse me. All right, so we'll help these guys out. Let's get our organization up first, cutting off those guys as well. All right, excellent. And could cut them off too, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. And we should be able to have this area here wrapped up fairly quickly. They're actually attacking our division there, so that's going to get us a little bit of army experience. Again, we need to make a lot of adjustments to our division design, so getting this army experience is going to be super helpful. Could go ahead and make sure we have a planning bonus here while we're just sitting. I think that would be wise. Alright, so this guy's done. Let's go ahead and have him now come over to here, and we'll help destroy him, though it does look like they're trying to cut us off there. Or excuse me, reconnect him there, so we might have to stop him. When does he get there? He's going to get there. You know what? Let's just let him go there, because then we can cut him off too. Yeah, we'll just let him go there. That'd be far better. So yeah, we'll let him leave. It looks like they already destroyed that before we even got to help out at all. Alright, and so then he'll come grab this port real quick. So what we can go and do now, I suppose, is attack this guy. Get him destroyed. Ah, somebody got there. Alright, so that's unfortunate. I was hoping that they would we'd be able to cut them off, but yeah, it looks like they sent another division there as well. We're defending here as this division is trying to get out. So they did grab that. Excellent. So let's go ahead and now take the province behind them, and they are reconnected here, so we don't want to do that battle anymore. And hopefully we can get there before this retreating division gets there. And then we'll destroy all these guys. Just take a look at how the rest of the situation is going here. And also we should probably make sure that we don't have any ships just sitting there. So I don't know if we'll be able to get these guys cut off or not. We'll have to see. Because yeah, you know, the AI is kind of mucking that up, you know, with the attack over here. And so they never really care much about cutting troops off and destroying them. So I'll put it back on speed 5 because yeah, I forgot that the Spanish Civil War, they stretched it out with those modifiers here. The unplanned offensives makes it much slower, all the attacks, unless you do, you know, where they're actually attacking, which is really hard to know without just clicking on the provinces. Maybe here? No, not there. They might not have anything planned just yet. We got the national mobilization law, so that's going to give us a lot more civilian factories. Super helpful. We can get more military factories, but of course we want to get that research slot. So we'll get that first. Let's take a look and see how many civilian factories we have. We now have 11. All right, so that's going to be helpful for getting those additional civilian factories built. So let's just take a look at our situation over here. I know I pulled some divisions out of here. Could put another one over there if we have any more that are... I don't think we have any other ones, but we'll go and throw this guy over there. Might as well. I know we're not going to war with China, you know, I'm not going to say anytime soon. Probably be in 1937, maybe late 1937, just kind of based on the focuses. I'd assume that'd be somewhere around there. Remember, the earlier we go to war with them, the easier they are. So there is that element to consider. We did get the depth charge throwers, and we got the mechanical computer. We got everything. Okay, so we have like 3 research slots to get some stuff picked. Could go and get the newer sonar before we go ahead and get the 1936 destroyers. I suppose we could go ahead and do that. Could also get the better armor for the battleships, but again, we won't be building another one anytime soon. So let's go and start with the active sonar. So when we do build those destroyers, which I guess we can get these at the same time. And let's see what else we need to get here. Do need radio. That'd be helpful. I think we're done here until 1937. So I suppose we'll get fighters next. Although if we waited to get fighters, we could go ahead and get the company for them. Let me just double check and see if we have that available for us. So we do not have the ability to get the agility focus, which is the Mitsubishi. Which is typically the one I go for because of that massive plus 20% agility bonus. That is significant. So I often go for that one. However, I think we might do something a little bit different in this one, guys, because I think it would be more useful to make our naval bombers, as well as our carrier fighters and carrier bombers, all that good stuff, giving them that increased range. You know, that's the thing that mainly limits you in the Pacific, is the fact that you just don't have the range. So I think we might go with the naval aircraft designer, and we could get that immediately rather than have to wait for the agility focus here. But yeah, I almost always go for that one. But I think we're going to do it a little bit different. You can also get the 10% range for your fighters here, but I don't think that's as useful as this one. So yeah, we're going to go for this one. So yeah, if we just wait until we get 150 balloon power, we can get that now. But that wouldn't apply to the fighters, so there's no reason to wait. Yeah, I guess there's no reason to wait for the fighters. We'll go and get the fighters then. So that we can start building those. Because as right now, remember, we're not building any of those interwar fighters. So almost have this battle done. I just forgot, how long it takes in this war because of the changes, which is good because the Civil War ended way too quick last time, and in the previous patches, I mean. But I have noticed that now it just feels like it takes too long. And then what often happens is the Spanish factions then join one of the other factions, or the Spanish countries, I should say. I guess they're not countries. Faction seems like the more correct term here. The Spanish, the different sides in Spain, they end up joining one of the factions, and then it starts the war sooner, and it messes things up, especially if you have the Republicans joining the Communists, though I think they fixed that. I saw in the patch notes that Spain shouldn't any longer, Republican Spain shouldn't try and join the Comintern anymore, so that they stopped starting war between the Comintern and the Allies, which was happening in campaigns, which obviously doesn't doesn't work, doesn't make much sense, and it just causes all kinds of problems. So they did fix that in the patch, so that's good. We do need submarines. We haven't started getting those yet because we don't have, well, we do have the 1936, never mind. So we have the 1936, we also have the cruiser submarines. And now the cruiser submarines are much better than 1936 ones in everything but speed, I think. Yeah, you see their speed here is at 19.9. Well, their speed's at 16.8, but they have better range, they have better HP, better reliability, slightly better reliability. Just overall, they're better. And of course, the biggest difference is the fact that they have all those slots unlocked right here from the beginning. So yeah, we're going to be building the cruiser submarines, and we'll even leave them called the cruiser submarines. We will change up this though, so that they have that indicator there. And let's go and say they're called historical submarine names, and let's get all the stuff picked for them. So let's get the torpedo tubes here. We don't have any of the other stuff unlocked, unfortunately, so we're only going to be able to do the torpedo rooms, and you can do the extra fuel tanks though to give them even more range. Well, that's pretty cool, but I don't think it's better than having the torpedo room, so we'll do that. And yeah, I can't get anything here, unfortunately, until we get something. Oh, wait a minute. Do we not have any experience? We do not. All right, I thought we had Navy experience. All right, well, that's what they're going to look like, guys. We'll just, for right now, we'll just go ahead and add the dockyards that we were going to use in the submarines, put them in the light cruisers. And then we'll get those as soon as we have 18 naval experience. It's going to take a little bit of time, but hopefully shouldn't take too long. We're going to get these guys. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. I must have set them to, I must have shift trained them here. I didn't mean to do that. So let's go ahead and have them continue training. I want them to train forever. And let's go ahead and add in the new heavy cruiser and let that get trained up too. I was wondering why our fuel was doing so much better. That was why, because the ships aren't doing anything. I didn't realize that we had that sitting there. What we might go ahead and do is actually go ahead and trade for one more factory worth of fuel. Alright, so getting these guys defeated here. We do have the army experience to make some adjustments. Let's go ahead and do that now, actually. Yeah, let's go ahead and make some changes. Oops. Go ahead and make some changes to them right now. And I guess the way we'll start it, we do need to change up a lot of these division designs. I don't really actually want these guys using, so many of these using the reserve divisions. I don't think that's necessary. I guess we'll start with changing these up to get the motorized. This will affect those divisions that are in battle right now, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and pull those, get them down to 20 combat width. We do want to eventually go up to 40 combat width, but we don't have the experience to do that right now, so we won't. As far as everything that's over here, it looks like we don't have all the support companies we need yet, but this is good for now. Let's go ahead and save that, and that'll give us a lot more motorized so we can build more troops, which was what I was waiting on. And we can actually build the troops now. We should have been building these, but yeah, let's go ahead and get these changed up too with that experience that we have. And then see, yeah, we'll go and give them the artillery. Oh, we don't have the experience for that, so we'll just change them like so. All right, so that'll give us more equipment, more manpower, all that good stuff. Let's go and train these troops up. And we haven't changed tanks up yet, so I won't train any of those just because we're gonna need to make so many adjustments to them. So let's go ahead and get these guys set up here. We don't have a training army yet, so we don't need to do that just yet. So let's go ahead and do whatever we can. It does look like we're pretty short on, yeah, we're still short on infantry equipment. So we're only going to be able to do one of each of these, with the exception of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and set them up to build all three. All right, so we're going to want to also change up these. Go ahead and do reinforcements will be our high priority here. And then we have the Institute Press Censorship, which we don't need to do. So we do have the ability to modify our government. Let's go ahead and do that now. A lot of options we do. Obviously, the ship designer is probably the one we're going to want to do since we're getting so many of those done now. As far as what we're going to do in here, guys, so we're going to start with the War Industrialist. Will probably be the first one that we end up getting after the Silent Workhorse. And then the other one that we're going to get is the Elusive Gentleman, so we have an extra operative. And then when we're done with the Silent Workhorse, because we just don't need the political power anymore, we will then get the Prince of Terror to get more non-core manpower, less damage to the garrisons, all that good stuff. So that's the way that's going to work. Let me just see what else we want to do now. So we can go and get the next tank designer for whenever we start researching those tanks. And then we could also go ahead and get and that's not going to apply until the 1936, so not really necessary to get that just yet. We'll probably want to go ahead and get our industrial concern. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's get the industrial concern, and we will be getting that one over the electronics one. And that'll help us research those sooner, which I think we're only working on one right now. Yeah, which we get finished up in about 7 days here. So we got these 2 divisions that are cut off and we're getting destroyed, and after we finish that up, we'll have to find somewhere else where we can cut some troops off. I'm thinking right there looks like the best location. We get the excavation knocked out, and we are close enough to 1937 that we can go and start working on the 1937 ones, so let's go ahead and do that now. We definitely want that dockyard output, guys. I think that'd be really useful to have. We're only at the 12 experience right now, so can't get those building yet. Let me just see if these guys have finished up. They haven't yet. We're still building them. So let's take a look at our equipment situation here in a minute, but I do want to take a look and see if there's anything we can train here. Not really. We'll just leave it as is. So let's go and take a look at the equipment. Remember, we had the 7 factories going towards infantry equipment, since we need quite a bit of that. We're going to want to put another one into motorized here in a minute. We're going to go ahead and have the next one go into motorized. Actually, for the motorized divisions I'd like to build, we're going to try and use motorized divisions in the invasion of China. When we do the naval invasions. I'm hoping that we've done this before. We did this in the last Japanese series, actually. I was able to conquer China very, very quickly with you just using some motorized. So we got our extra research slot. Awesome. Probably want to go and get that one next for the civilian and military factories. Let me see if there's anything else that we really, really want. Obviously, army experience would be helpful for those division designs. Yeah, all these are pretty good. But yeah, I think could get that one, but you know what, let's go ahead and get the military and civilian factories. We definitely want to get that done. We also want to get the faction too, but let's go and get this first. That's 2 more military factories, 2 more civilian factories, and we got a research slot. So let's go ahead and get something picked here. So we do have the industrial techs that we can get, but I think we're gonna go ahead and do the radio stuff next. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. We still have to get a land doctrine one going. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to get, guys. We also need to get the field hospitals, put those in our division designs. But again, let's go ahead and start with the radio. Reinforcing would be helpful to have. This guy's tired as hell. Yeah, our guys are exhausted on this fight here. We'll keep them going though, because it does look like it's gonna be a win. You know what? Actually, I can't seem to do this here. Let's just tell them to hold up. Let's give them a planning bonus. Let's let the damn it, I told you guys to stop. Let's let the Spanish do this initial attack. We also have the Germans and Italians here as well. We're going to let them exhaust themselves while we get our organization up, our planning bonus up, and then we'll attack again. We have 19 army experience, so could make another adjustment to our division design, so let's go ahead and do that now. I want to wait to do the tanks until we kind of done everybody else. So let me just take a look and see if there's anything we can do here. We can get the support artillery there. We need to get artillery here, actually. Yeah, I didn't realize that we hadn't done that yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that first. Let's go ahead and get the artillery, pull back another infantry design, another infantry battalion, excuse me. And that require a ton more infantry equipment. That's okay, though. So let's go ahead and save that. And that means we're probably going to be, again, really, really short on the artillery. 523, that actually isn't too bad. Yeah, it's not too shabby at all. We have fixed the infantry equipment shortages, so we'll pull that back now and go ahead and start pumping into the other things we need. Looks like I did light tanks instead of motorized. My bad, guys. I'm incompetent. All right, and we also need to get more planes as well. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull back to just 3, or we'll do 4. There we go. So we get that factory into the motorized. All right, so almost done here, and then we'll be able to move these guys. Move them over to, you know what? I should have gave these guys a field marshal. My bad, guys. My bad. Yeah, I should have given them a field marshal. So we have 2 options here, and just based on their stats here, we have, I wonder what that does, the samurai lineage. Does that like have any influence here? I'm curious what that does. Does that maybe impact events, maybe? Oh, they both have that. Yeah, I wonder if that impacts events and stuff. I'd imagine it might. So they're both offensive doctrine. So the difference here is the politically connected is the only real difference. As far as their traits go, stats, looks like he has the higher planning and attack. Well, he has the higher supply, so we'll use him. Supply is, of course, important in the Asian theater, but yeah, I think we'll use him here in Spain. So we got the active sonar, and let's go ahead and get, we'll probably have 2 of our research slots on ships until we have all of them done up until the 1940 stuff, including some of the passive bonuses. I want to get the naval doctrines and stuff. But let's go ahead and get, well, we're not going to be able to use that right away. But yeah, I think we might go ahead and get the, just so we have it, the armor. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do next. Let's get the armor. This is going to take a long time, though. If we just wait a little bit, we could wait till we got the experience and then use the experience there. So instead, let's do the secondary battery. That'd be really useful to have. So these guys are done. Let's go ahead and send them on over here. Yeah, I think that'd be the best location for cutting troops off. All right, so we're going to place them right there. And there we go. So they'll move on over here, and we could, of course, have tried to figure out where they were planning on attacking, because that's the only way you'll be able to get anything done. But I'm not really seeing them have any attacks planned yet. Now, I haven't played with Spain in the new patch, so I don't really know how all that works when you're actually playing as them. I think I'll be interested once we do the Spanish campaign to see exactly how that works, because I'm curious. So we did finish up with those civilian factories, which is excellent, but I still don't really like where we're at on the civilian factory count right now, guys. We still can't really build much. So let's go ahead and get a few more civilian factories here, maybe 2 more, because yeah, I want like be able to get like a full line of them. We could also build up the infrastructure in any steel provinces if we have any that can get us a lot of steel, so we can stop trading for so much steel. I think that's what we'll do. We get a little bit more over here to get it from our puppet there. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and trade, or excuse me, I think we're going to go ahead and get those infrastructure for the steel going. What we'll do is we'll get 1 civilian factory and then do infrastructure. And then that'll give us a lot of our civilian factories back. In fact, it looks like we actually already have the ability to pull it back some with those excavation ones that we had gotten. So that'll be helpful. That's 2 more civilian factories. We're almost to a full line. These 2 civilian factories will put us up to 15 factories. All right, so we're going to want to attack right here. Our front did extend in a way I didn't want them to. All right, so planning bonus is up. Let's go ahead and do the attack now, guys, and try and cut off these 2 divisions here, though they mucked it up. Alright, well, we can go in and help them destroy these guys here. I'll head on over there. They already did it, never mind. Alright, so that didn't go quite the way I would have liked. Let's see where we want to help out next. Now, what is this modifier here, this autonomous state? Oh, okay, just results in them not giving you much because they've got too much autonomy. Let's see how the best way to do this is. Probably break through along here somewhere, maybe in the plains, and then take Barcelona and get these guys cut off here in the mountains, since Spain typically takes a lot of casualties up there. So let's go and delete this front here. We could also try and break through here, but yeah, I think it would be easier to do this over here. Result in less casualties ourselves and just being a little bit more helpful. And you can see the Spanish have actually got cut off here. Yeah, it looks like they're in fact losing on this front. So yeah, definitely want to come over here and help them out. Yeah, they lost a division there. All right, that's unfortunate. Let's see what we got. And Portugal's having a civil war as well. All right. So what 2 sides is here? All right, so we have the fascist side, and then we have the Kingdom of Portugal. Okay. The AI Portugal doesn't seem to know how to join the Spanish Civil War, because if you join before you do a few things, then you end up getting a civil war. You need to do certain things in your focus tree, which you know, we saw that when we did the Portuguese series. AI doesn't really seem to know how to handle that. Man, we keep on going down here. There's just so much stuff to get that's really good. Like this one changes you over to total mobilization. I don't think we'd actually want to do that though until we're able to. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that yet, guys. I know that you get the recruitable population from the spiritual mobilization, which of course kind of makes up for most of the penalties you get here. And I would like to have the civilian factories, guys, from this. But you know what? I think we're good. Let's go and go after this one next, so we can go and get our faction created. So we have 3 military factories to get assigned now. So yeah, we can actually pull back on the infantry equipment and just go ahead and put towards the other stuff that we need here with the motorized, the artillery, and then when do we get our fighters? 67 days. Okay. Then instead, let's go ahead and work on, since we don't have what I need there, let's get more artillery here, guys, and then we're going to go ahead and get some more naval bombers. All right, so short on steel, but we won't trade for that. And we are just about done with the episode, guys. We're going to go ahead and get to, I think, March. We'll go to March 1st here, and then we're going to go ahead and end. Let me just go and take a look and see if we have anything here, any ships that need to get trained, or any ships that need to be pulled out. That heavy cruiser is still going, so we'll have to wait just a little bit longer. All right, and we got our troops coming on over here, and probably not going to get to fight much before the episode ends. So we're going to want to attack through these plains here, guys. That's going to be the best way to do this. We are into March. Let's go ahead, and we got a little bit of strength problems there, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do the attack here, and this is where we're going to end the episode, guys. So we did get a little over a year. Typically in the first episode, I try and get about a year, year and a half. It's usually closer to a year if you help out in those in the civil wars and stuff, and whatever you have going on, the little tiny wars around the world. If you help out in those, you just don't get as far. But yeah, this is a great place to end it. I think it's going to be a fun campaign, guys, just because it's a lot different than anything we've done recently, you know, with the French and the Portuguese series, where the Portugal one was supposed to be more focused on naval conflict, but we ended up winning that naval war with just naval bombers. We just stomped all over them. Oh, and Canada's colors changed as well. Look at that. All right, I didn't notice that. I noticed Japan, Portugal's color was changed, but now Canada has kind of a color very similar to the Japanese one, obviously slightly different here. But yeah, that could cause some confusion when you invade into North America. Yeah, Canada's got a different color as well. I know they changed a couple colors just to make things a little bit more clear, not as confusing. So India is now free. Okay, what's going on here? What are the British doing? Oh, that's right. They decided to go down. They went down the King's Party route. Okay, so that's interesting that they went that route, despite the fact that they're on the default setting. Huh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So we might not quite get the historical campaign that we were expecting because they went the change in course route. I wasn't even paying attention to what the British were doing. But yeah, they're going down the King's Party route, which does mean that they would probably ally with the Germans. Oh, that sucks. And that's why I don't like doing the default setting, because then you lose control over it, and then you can have like situations like now that the British are probably going to be more of an ally, which is a real shame. Yeah, that's a real bummer, man. But these guys are all free, so no, they're not. They're still a puppet. Okay, so they still have British Malaya. Let's see what else they got. In Singapore. Yeah, but Australia and New Zealand are no longer in the faction. Okay, so we probably should have been paying attention to what everybody was doing. I just assumed everybody was more than likely going to go more democratic, or excuse me, more historical. So I wasn't really paying attention to it. The United States, we do know that they're going down their historical route. Looks like the French are going communist. Wow, the default setting is much different than it used to be, because it used to be very close to historical with a few adjustments. For instance, Poland would always create their own faction on the default setting, but now it feels like it's random, right? Doesn't it feel like they're just doing stuff randomly? Yeah, it looks like the French are going to go communist. That's interesting. What is everybody else doing? We can't see what Germany's doing. We have no intel on them, so we can't really see what they're working on. How about the Italians? Well, they don't really have any alt history routes. Same with the Soviets. They're going with the armament effort. All right, so this is going to be a much different campaign than I was expecting. I was expecting something slightly more historical. It's going to end up being quite a bit different, I think, with the UK, doing the King's Party, which often kind of aligns them more towards Germany. And I assume Germany's still going down their route again. Can't see though, so you never know. They could be going down a weird route too. But if they were going down the Kaiser route, then they would have already had the Civil War. You know, if they had or any of those routes to oppose Hitler, they would have already had that happen. So I think they're going down their historical branch. So what's going to end up happening here is France will likely join the Soviet Union, as will Yugoslavia, or that's the way it looks like they're going. So you'll have the Comintern will be the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, and France. And so if Germany declares war on France, it'll result in them being at war with all three. So yeah, they'll have the Comintern here, but there's not going to be any allies because the UK is not. Yeah, you know what, guys? I really don't know how this is going to develop. We'll just have to watch it and see. It'll be interesting at the very least, right? But yeah, we might be able to just kind of run free here in Asia, which now makes me kind of want to accelerate the plans. I was kind of thinking of you know, like a late 1937 conflict, since we were going to help out here in Spain. But now I think we might go ahead and start accelerating those options and getting into the war a little bit sooner. And I'm going to get some more troops training over here just so we have this going. What are we short? Artillery. Okay. So it's probably good that we put more factories into that. Next episode, we'll go and start, yeah, I guess we'll start planning for some conflict, guys. I'm not sure who will attack first just yet. I think China's the one that makes most sense. Yeah, I think we'll end up attacking China first. So in our focus tree, we do get war goals from that, so we could wait until we go down there and get the Marco Polo Bridge incident. I might go ahead and do it that way. Yeah, I think we'll go to war with China next. So that'll be next episode more than likely, and they'll pull our volunteers back, and which unfortunate that all of our motorized is over here because I needed these guys for invasions. But yeah, we'll just have to roll without them. We do have some divisions training here, so we'll better utilize those. But yeah, we'll go and get some invasions planning to hit their ports, and also change up the division designs that are here. I do hope you guys enjoyed the episode. You know, it's happening a little bit differently than I had expected it to. Definitely not going to be a historical campaign. We'll just have to roll with it and see what happens. But if you did enjoy the episode, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do read and reply to all comments. Really enjoy talking to you guys. If you're looking for any links, check out the description of any of our videos. You'll find links to our PayPal and Patreon if you'd like to help support the channel, as well as our Teespring merchandise store. You'll find links to our Discord if you'd like to join our community. We have sections where you can talk about politics. Got like a general section for talking about gaming, movies, whatever. We've got a pretty good group of people there. Then we also have links to all of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. If you're looking for anything to watch while you wait for the next episode, then check out the front page of our channel. We have 3,000 something videos, all sorted by genre, including a section just for Hearts of Iron 4 content. So you should be able to find something to watch. As far as HOI4 campaigns, we got I think it's 30, maybe 30 something campaigns so far, with the most recent ones here in the Law Resistance expansion being the French and Portuguese campaigns that we just wrapped up the last week. So maybe go check out those if you haven't already. With the Portuguese one, we went the Fifth Empire route, so we went fascist, but kind of created our own faction with Spain. And then on the French one, we went the Napoleonic route, where we focused on conquering Europe, though we ended up fighting all over the world in that one. But yeah, that was a real fun campaign too. I had a blast with both of those. So maybe go check out one of those or one of the older campaigns. But I do hope to see you guys on the next episode, which will be on Sunday. And thanks for watching.